thought in this town it worked on a sort of one for you, one for me type system. How about two for you, one for me? How about all for you and none for me?
That's perfect, yes.
Great.
Ooh la la! If I owned a restaurant in West Hollywood, you can bet that I'd let Ryan Gosling tickle my ivories any way he pleased. I'm just joshing. I don't own a fancy West Hollywood restaurant. Instead, I own a cozy 2-bedroom condo in Avon, Indiana that I occasionally Airbnb to help pay off its costly mortgage. Money doesn't seem to be a real issue for the two lovebirds at the center of writer-director Damien Chazelle's La La Land, but who needs cash when you can simply tippity-tap your way to the big time?
I got a call back.
What? Come on. For what?
For a TV show. The one that I was telling you about earlier.
The Dangerous Minds meets the OC?
Yeah.
La La Land sings a song about two idealistic old souls chasing their dreams in Tinseltown, USA. Emma Stone plays Mia, an aspiring young actress who dreams of making it big in the talkies. And Ryan Gosling plays Sebastian, a dedicated jazz pianist who aspires to one day open his own club. Their romance inspires each of them to make big gains in each of their respective pursuits, until eventually they must decide which is more important, their love or their dreams. Considering most of my dreams are reoccurring nightmares where I'm lost inside a stranger's house being mugged and shot repeatedly in the back, I choose love. La La Land is considered by many to be this year's frontrunner for Best Picture at the Academy Awards. And like most Oscar frontrunners, it's not necessarily the best film of the year, as it is the movie most people can agree they enjoyed. This highly praised 50s musical throwback isn't particularly challenging and doesn't have too much to say, but its presentation is breathtaking. Its lead's endearing and truly transports you to a magical world that's right off the 101. And I ain't talking about Narnia. Ryan Gosling, who over the past 10 years has proven himself to be one of the finest actors of his generation, is effortlessly brilliant as Sebastian. The former Musketeer looks to be having the time of his life, and while technically not the best singer in the world, makes up for it emphatically by lighting up the silver screen with his confidence and charisma. His performance reminded me of Marlon Brando's in Samuel Goldwyn's Guys and Dolls, who also used his otherworldly acting chops to hide his less than stage-ready vocal stylings.
In the throng.
In fact, Gosling makes great acting look so easy that when Emma Stone's Mia gets her big break near the end of the film, come on, you didn't see that coming? The audience can't be too surprised, as Gosling has spent the last hour and a half making it look like any idiot could do so. Emma Stone is delightful as the young ingenue, but truth be told, it's nothing we haven't already seen from her time and time again. What I loved most about the film was the beautifully kinetic and seamless cinematography by Linus Sandgren, who also shot David O. Russell's American Hustle and Joy, two movies that I absolutely adored. The cinematography evokes a 1950s nostalgia while also simultaneously feels fresh and modern. La La Land is absolutely a unique cinematic experience, and I urge anyone interested in catching the picture to do so while it's on the big screen. In the end, La La Land succeeds as a movie that most filmgoers will enjoy it as, a frivolous musical extravaganza. But I have a feeling that director Damien Chazelle was trying to tell a deeper story about struggling artists. And unfortunately, in this regard, I feel the filmmaker ultimately missed the mark. It's nice that Mr. Chazelle got to make the movie he wanted to, but I feel the picture ultimately exposes him as shallow and superficial. La La Land feels like it was made by people that have never had to struggle a day in their life in pursuit of their dreams. And if they have, they certainly didn't feel like exploring it for this film. Ryan Gosling seems to have been consistently working since he was 12 years old. Anybody tape young Hercules?
He had a son, young Hercules.
And Emma Stone considers her rock-bottom experience to be missing out on the role of cheerleader at NBC's Heroes. Me thinks she dodged a bullet on that one. Even Damien Chazelle's early years as a filmmaker seem suspiciously fortunate. He made his first full-length film on 16mm black and white while simultaneously paying out-of-state tuition at Harvard University. Somehow I doubt his journey was a struggle. Apparently, Chazelle interviewed Gosling and Stone about their early years as actors to make the film seem more authentic, but when you think about it, maybe he should have interviewed a few of the actors instead. On a more serious note, when I was 17 years old, I moved out to Los Angeles with aspirations of being the next Patrick Dempsey. It was your classic Hollywood cliche. Small-town boy from Indiana drops out of high school to pursue fame and fortune with $50 in his pocket and half a tank of gas. My Volvo 760 broke down somewhere in Decatur, Illinois, and unfortunately, I was forced to postpone my journey for 3.5 years. While I was in Decatur, a kind elderly divorcee who owned the local Cineplex offered me a job as an usher to help pay for my car's daunting repairs. During this time, I developed my own one-man show entitled Valerie Kilmer, with hopes of wowing a big-time casting director with the 96 different characters I wrote to showcase my incredible range. When I finally got to Los Angeles, it turned out that I couldn't afford to rent a theater or an apartment. I wound up living in the backseat of my Volvo down on Venice Beach and did whatever it took to afford food for me and a stray cat I picked up in a back alley off Sunset. It took a lot of hard work, but after a long stretch of time, I was afforded an opportunity to audition for a big-time talent agent. Instead of performing the recommended minute-long monologue, I decided now would be the perfect time to dust off Valerie Kilmer and really knock their socks off. The next thing I remember, I was waking up outside of a movie theater in Southgate that was playing Encino Man, and suddenly I was brought face to face with an old chum of mine, Brendan Fraser. Half friends, half adversaries, we were always fighting over the same roles in elementary school. I'd land some, he'd land others. But it appeared as if Brendan finally got the final laugh. And as I sat outside of the movie theater crying for hours, my hand stroking the poster that charted the evolution of monkeys to Fraser, I decided to head home. I'd given it my best shot, but clearly, stardom would forever elude me. I don't know why I decided to tell that story. I'm giving La La Land a B- as I feel the movie mistakenly explored the journey of the top 1% of the top 1% of dreamers in the world, and would have been a better film. It would have... Until next time, I'm Clifford Yeddes, and I can't do this anymore. I'll be back next week. It's in the can.